Ayan lived in a small village near the Blue Sea of Somalia. The village was called Darur. It had white houses, narrow sandy roads, and tall palm trees. In the morning, fishermen carried silver fish from their boats. In the evening, children played beside the water. Ayan was 12 years old. She had bright eyes and long black hair. She loved stories more than anything. Her father had given her a small red radio. It was old and its antenna was bent, but Ayan treated it like treasure. Every evening she sat outside her house and listened to voices coming from faraway cities. There were news reports, songs, interviews, and stories about brave people. One day my voice will come from a radio, Ayan often said. Her younger brother laughed. Who will listen to you? The whole country, Ayan answered proudly. Her mother, Hodan, always smiled when she heard this. Then, remember to speak the truth, she told her daughter. A true voice can travel farther than a bird. Ayan did not understand why her mother looked sad when she said those words. The secret celebration. One afternoon, Ayan returned from school and found several women sitting inside her home. Her grandmother, Faduma, was serving tea. The women smiled when Ayan entered, but they quickly stopped talking. One of them held a beautiful white dress. Another carried a box of sweets. What is happening? Ayan asked. Grandmother Faduma smiled. We are planning a celebration for you. My birthday is not until next month. This is more important than a birthday, her grandmother said. Ayan looked at her mother. Hodan was standing near the window. She did not smile. What celebration? Ayan asked again. You will understand soon, said grandmother Faduma. After it is finished, you will no longer be treated like a little child. The women began whispering again. Ayan heard only a few words. Tradition, respect, marriage. So, next Friday, when the visitors left, Ayan picked up the white dress. It was beautiful, but when she touched it, she felt strangely cold. Mother, what will happen next Friday? Hodan took the dress from her hands. Go and help your brother with his homework. Please tell me. Not now, Ayan. Her mother folded the dress and placed it inside a wooden cupboard. That night, Ayan could not sleep. She heard her mother and grandmother speaking in the next room. It happened to you, grandmother Faduma said. It happened to me. It happened to every respectable woman in this family. I remember what happened to me, Hodan answered quietly. Then you know it is our custom. I remember the pain. There was silence. Grandmother Faduma spoke again. People will talk if we refuse. Let them talk. You say that now. But when the whole village turns against us, what will you do? Ayan covered her mouth with her hand. She had heard older girls whisper about a special ceremony. No one explained it clearly. They only said that after the ceremony, a girl sometimes remained in bed for many days. Ayan suddenly understood. The white dress was not for a happy celebration. The school visitor. The next morning, a nurse came to Ayan's school. Her name was Marianne. She worked at a small health center 2 villages away. She carried a cloth bag filled with books and medical papers. I have come to speak about girls' health, Nurse Marian said. Some children became shy. Others began to laugh. Marianne did not laugh. She spoke calmly about growing up, personal safety, and the right to ask for help. Then she discussed a harmful tradition in which a girl's body was cut for no medical reason. She did not describe it in a frightening way. She simply explained that it could cause pain, infection, emotional trauma, and serious problems later in life. No girl becomes cleaner, better, or more respectable because she is hurt, Marianne said. Ayan felt her heart beating fast. A boy raised his hand. But some families say it is required. Many families were taught that, Marianne replied. But something does not become safe merely because it is old. A girl sitting beside Ayan whispered, My aunt says no man will marry an uncut girl. Nurse Marian looked around the classroom. A good husband does not ask his wife to suffer. A good community protects its children. After the lesson, Marianne gave the teacher her telephone number. Anyone who feels afraid may contact me, she said. Ayan secretly wrote the number on the back of her notebook. A mother's silence. That evening, Ayan entered the kitchen while her mother was making bread. Mother, I know what the celebration is. Hodan stopped working. The nurse came to our school. Her mother slowly placed the bread dough on the table. I do not want it, Ayan said. Please, do not let them do it. Hodan looked toward the door to make sure grandmother Faduma was not listening. I have not agreed. Then tell grandmother no. It is not so easy. It is my body. Why is it not easy? Hodan closed her eyes. Ayan saw tears on her mother's face. When I was your age, I asked my mother to save me, Hodan said. She told me that she had no choice. Now you have a choice. You do not understand the power of the village. People can be cruel. They may refuse to speak with us. They may say terrible things about you. I would rather hear terrible words than suffer terrible pain. Hodan pulled her daughter close. I am trying to find courage. Ayan moved away. You always tell me to speak the truth, but now you are afraid to speak. The words hurt Hodan. Ayan saw it, but she did not apologize. She ran to her room and closed the door. For the next few days, preparations continued. Grandmother Faduma invited relatives. Women cooked sweet bread. The white dress was cleaned and pressed. Hodan said very little. On Thursday night, Ayan packed a small bag. She placed two dresses, some bread, a bottle of water, and her red radio inside it. She planned to walk to Nurse Marianne's health center before sunrise. But when she opened the front door, she found Grandmother Faduma sitting outside. Where are you going? Her grandmother asked. Ayan froze. To see my friend. At midnight, Grandmother Faduma took the bag from her hand. You are frightened because you are young, she said. Tomorrow you will understand. No, I will not. All girls are afraid. Did you feel afraid? Her grandmother looked away. Did you ask your mother to stop it? Ayan continued. That was a different time. Did she stop? Faduma's face became hard. Go inside. You were not protected. Mother was not protected. Now you want the same thing to happen to me. I want you to be accepted. Then teach people to accept me. Do not teach me to accept pain. Grandmother Faduma raised her hand as though she might strike her, but she stopped. For a moment, Ayan saw something in the old woman's eyes. It was not anger, it was fear. The morning of the ceremony, before sunrise, women began arriving at the house. They sang traditional songs and carried plates of food. Children gathered outside, hoping to receive sweets. Ayan was dressed in white. Her grandmother placed a golden necklace around her neck. You look beautiful, she said. Ayan did not answer. Her mother stood at the other side of the room. Hodan looked pale. Ayan waited for her mother to say something. She did not. Uh, then an old woman arrived carrying a black bag. The room became silent. Ayan knew that the time had come. She looked at her mother one last time. Shh, please. Hodan lowered her eyes. Something inside Ayan broke. She pushed past the women and ran from the house. Ayan, several people shouted. She ran barefoot through the sandy road. Her white dress moved behind her like a sail. The women followed her. Some villagers came out of their homes to watch. Stop her! Grandmother Faduma shouted. Ayan reached the small market square, but two women blocked her path. She turned toward the beach. Her feet sank into the wet sand. She could hear people coming closer. Then she saw a fishing boat near the shore. Her father, Abdi, had returned unexpectedly from a 3-day fishing trip. He jumped from the boat when he saw his daughter running toward him. Ayan, what happened? She held his shirt. They are going to hurt me. Abdi looked toward the women. Hodan and Faduma reached the beach. What is happening? He demanded. Grandmother Faduma answered first. It is only the ceremony. Every arrangement has been made. You planned this while I was away. You knew the time would come. I knew there would be a discussion. I did not give my permission. Hodan looked at her husband. I should have told you. The old woman with the black bag arrived. We should finish quickly, she said. The girl is creating shame. Ayan's father stepped in front of his daughter. No one will touch her. People began whispering. Grandmother Faduma's face became red. You will destroy her future. Abdi looked at Ayan. What future do you want? I want to stay in school, Ayan said. I want to work on the radio. I want to tell stories. Her father turned toward the crowd. That is her future. The grandmother's secret. The village elder came forward. He was a serious man named Yusuf. You are creating a public fight, he told Abdi. Take the girl home and let the family solve this matter privately. No, Ayan said. Everyone looked at her. She removed the small red radio from her bag. I do not want this to remain private. The radio station was holding a children's program that morning. Ayan had heard the presenter invite young listeners to send voice messages. The night before, she had recorded one on her teacher's telephone. Nurse! Marian had helped send it to the station. Ayan turned up the volume. A young presenter's voice came through the radio. Our next message is from a schoolgirl in a coastal village. She has asked us not to use her name. Then Ayan's own recorded voice filled the market square. I am a girl who loves her family. I respect my mother and my grandmother, but respect does not mean allowing someone to hurt me. A tradition should give children wisdom, love, and belonging. It should not give them fear. I am asking my family to protect me. I am asking other girls not to remain silent. No one spoke when the message ended. Then a woman in the crowd began crying. My daughter became very sick after her ceremony, she said. I have never forgiven myself. Another mother stepped forward. My husband and I decided not to do it to our youngest child. More women began talking. Some supported the tradition. Others said they had secretly wanted it to end for years. Grandmother Faduma stood in the middle of the voices. Her hands were shaking. At last, she turned toward Ayan. When I was 8 years old, she said, I ran away too. The crowd became quiet. My uncle found me beside a dry river. He carried me back. Afterward, my mother told me never to speak about it. She looked at Hodan. When it was your mother's turn, she begged me to protect her. But I was afraid of the village. Hodan began to cry. I thought I was giving her respect, Faduma continued. But for all these years, I have known the truth. I gave my daughter the same fear that my mother gave me. She removed the golden necklace from Ayan's neck. The old woman with the black bag became angry. Do not listen to the child, she said. This is our way. Faduma turned toward her. No, it was our fear. She handed the black bag back to the woman. There will be no cutting in my home. The ceremony did not happen. For several weeks, some people in the village refused to speak to Ayan's family. A few women called Hodan a bad mother. Some men said Abdi had allowed his daughter to control him. But something else happened too. Mothers began visiting Nurse Marianne's health center. At first, they came secretly. They asked questions about their daughters. They spoke about their own pain. They admitted that they had followed the custom only because they feared rejection. Nurse Marianne started a weekly meeting. Grandmother Faduma attended the first one. When people saw the respected old woman entering the health center, they were surprised. I cannot change what happened to me, she said. I cannot change what I allowed to happen to my daughter, but I can help change what happens next. Ayan still wore the white dress, but not for the old ceremony. Her family held a different celebration. They celebrated her success at school. The women prepared rice, bread, and sweet tea. Children sang songs. Ayan stood in the market square, wearing a bright red scarf. Her grandmother gave her a new notebook. For your stories, Faduma said. Her father repaired the antenna of her radio. Her mother kissed her forehead. You found your voice before I found mine, Hodan said. You found it in time, Ayan answered. 1 year later, the local radio station invited Ayan to visit its studio. The room was smaller than she had imagined. There was one table, two microphones, and many wires. The presenter placed headphones over her ears. Are you ready? He asked. Ayan looked through the glass window. Her mother, father, and grandmother were standing on the other side. Nurse Marianne was with them. A red light appeared above the studio door. Ayan leaned toward the microphone. Good evening, she said. My name is Ayan, and this program is for every child who is afraid to speak. Across the village, families gathered around their radios. Some agreed with her, some became angry, but no one could pretend that the subject did not exist. Ayan opened her new notebook. My grandmother once told me that traditions hold a community together, she said. I believe that is true, but love must be stronger than fear. A tradition that harms a child should not be protected. The child should be protected. Outside the studio, grandmother Faduma placed her hand over her heart. The girl's voice traveled across the village, over the sea, and into homes far. Her mother had once promised. The truth traveled further than a bird.